Make It Plain. I'm co-hosting for the Reverend Dr. Mark Thompson, our brother in Christ, our brother in this activism work. He is not here in Netroots Nation 2025 in New Orleans. He sent me here. Actually, he didn't. I was here for my own edification and all kinds of things. And he's actually where I'm supposed to be. But it's all good. And I've enjoyed my time here. And I think you're one of the few, not many politicians that show up, but she is actually kind of hiding, y'all. She was like, I just want y'all to don't see this particular name on my tag because I'm just a person. I'm just a person. And even though she is just a person, she is a Black woman that has gained the title of councilwoman in Buffalo, New York, and decided that she wanted to run for office, make change in her neighborhood, and is at Netroots too, right? Because she could be on vacation, and I'm not calling all y'all out who are on vacation right now.
Yes, she is.
While some of us are doing the work, but it's okay. It's okay. We're actually not doing the work. We're actually talking about doing the work.
Yes.
The work comes next week. Yeah. But this is Councilwoman Zanetta Everhart. And I was going to say that, but you know how your mind goes, no, that doesn't sound right. Don't say that. But okay, Everhart, out of Buffalo, New York. She is one of my latest, newest, and greatest sister girls. And not that we didn't meet 2 years ago. We did, but I was literally running to the Buju concert. Yep. So I was like, I got to go. Buju came there. I was like, listen, I gotta catch this train. Yes. So I am so happy to see you again. I am glad that you are back. I'm glad that we are connected. So tell me, sis, let's give them your background, because I don't like to tell stories. Give us the short version. How'd you get there?
Good. I was about to say, how much of the story
what ticked you off enough that for you to say, you know what, I'm gonna run for political office?
The why. Right.
The why?
It's
okay.
The why, right?
Okay.
So my why is born and raised on the east side of Buffalo, a predominantly Black neighborhood, and I am now 44 years old.
She looking young.
Would like to tell her age, but I am 44 years old, and my neighborhood still looks the same way it did when I grew up.
Oh wow.
That's my why.
Okay.
That's
different.
And that's problematic. Right. And not only does it still look the same, but the issues are still the same. Right? My people are still dealing with the same issues that I dealt with growing up, right?
Okay.
Crime, gun violence, gangs, drug addiction, you name it. Right. Like
you name it. Right.
Food insecurity, job insecurity, all the things. And so all those things are still happening in a neighborhood that I was born and raised in. And so that is why I'm here today.
Did you ever think that you were going to be a politician?
No, that sounds ridiculous.
It sounds ridiculous.
Up for this.
For the level of abuse that you're about to get into.
Listen, no. No, I absolutely didn't. This wasn't on my bingo card. Never even thought about politics. The only time I thought about politics was my previous job two previous jobs. So I worked in news and media.
Okay.
Right? So I worked for Spectrum News for 6 years. Okay. Always wanted to be a journalist. Thought I was going to be Oprah one day.
All right. We all going to be Oprah at some point in time, right?
We had things to aspire to when we was in the hood.
That's right.
Right. I wanted to be Oprah, right?
That's right.
And so that's what I did. I went to, after my marriage exploded, right? I decided to go to college, and that's literally what I did. I studied journalism, TV production, and I got a job in news. And so one day, actually my former executive producer left the news station to go work for a senator. And so she worked for him for a couple of years, and then she called me one day like, hey, interested in a job with the senator? And I was like, girl, bye. Like,
I think we all say that. Why are you calling me?
Like, why would I leave my job to go work in politics? Like, I cover politics, right?
Why y'all calling me?
So, right. For real. So, like, I see what politics is. I don't want to be in it, and so, but I met with him, and just listening to him and talking about kind of like what he needed from me, and what he would want me to do, which was basically go into my neighborhood and talk to people about the issues and bring those issues back to him.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, oh, I can get paid to do.
Yes, you can. Not a lot, but you can.
Not a lot.
We ain't doing this to get wealthy now. We don't do this work for wealth.
You in public service, you ain't even, please. And so I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And so that began my journey into government and politics. And I worked for him for 6 years. I absolutely love my job. I still kind of work for him. Don't get paid for it.
Oh.
Hi, Congressman Kennedy.
Oh.
But I love the
work.
We
need to talk about that, though.
No,
we need to talk about that.
I love the work. And so me and him do a lot of collaborative work still together, obviously. Yep. Because now he's elevated from a senator to a congressman, and he is my mentor. He's my big brother, and I respect him so much. I would follow him to the end of earth, especially if he runs for president one day. Wink, wink.
We need all kinds of options. Kennedy. We need all kinds of.
He gonna kill me. But no, seriously. And so that was what it was. He really just gave me a blank canvas. He was like, "Go do stuff."
Okay.
And whatever you do, bring it back and tell me how we can, change the dynamics of the neighborhood. And that's what I did. And so I just went hard, joining Black clubs, helping them with organizing different events and community cleanups and, food giveaways and book bag giveaways. And I mean, just like I was in it, like I jumped right into the trenches, helping and doing all those things. And it was amazing. Through his office, I created Single Moms Club Buffalo, which was an organization to connect single mothers with resources, right? And so when I started in his office, one of the things he asked me to do, he said, just put something together and tell me about a bunch of different things that we could do. And one of those things was, issues with single mothers. I was a single mother. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so
you're actually meeting a need.
Right.
You're meeting a need.
When I was, a single mom, raising my son, going to college, working full time, doing all these things, there were very limited resources for me in the neighborhood, right? In my direct neighborhood. And so what I did was I built off of my own personal experience as a single mother, and I created a resource. Yeah. And so what we would do is we would have events bi-monthly, and we would move it around the whole city of Buffalo, and we would provide women with tabling opportunities, right? We would bring in jobs, education institutions. I love it. Wellness. We would bring in everything you can think of, daycare information.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Like that. And then we would make it fun though. Yeah. Right? Because single moms don't have time.
Right.
And so we would do like paint nights for the moms, and but they could bring their kids to these events.
See?
And we had volunteers that took the kids away from the moms, so they can have kind of like a little moment. And so it's things like that. Like, so that's what I was able to do through his office. And I did a lot of things like that through his office for 6 years. And then one day, I decided to run myself. And
were you tired that day? Did you fall and bump your head? What
what happened?
How does that? I know how it happens.
It was another why moment. Right? Okay. It was 5/14/2022. Right? The Tops massacre in the city of Buffalo, which left my son seriously injured from a gunshot to the neck.
You said that. We were okay, you guys. I was in a panel with her just a little while ago, because that's what good sister girls do. We go and support each other. And when you said that, because I had not heard that your son was in the grocery store at the time, and that he was a victim, and you're a victim survivor, and the mommy, and I can only imagine the horror and the fear that you had that was embedded in your spirit when you got that phone call.
And the phone call was not just your regular phone call, right?
Right.
It was, because when a shooting or something happens, right, a family member is notified by the police or, whoever. When my son was shot, he called me.
Let me tell you something. God is good that He called you.
And
so He called you from the grocery store?
Yes.
Okay, I need to ask this for all kinds of. Yeah, let me just. I need to pause and say this, sister. You don't have to talk about the story because we don't need to know all the details. I just want to say that thank you for allowing that horrific moment to propel you into politics and wanting to sit and serve and change your neighborhood.
Yes.
Because I think that's important to know. And when you're telling your stories, and people, we have to know when we're asking people about their stories, the retelling, we don't want to re-traumatize them.
Yeah.
So Thank you. I'm glad I caught that, and I didn't
Yeah.
want to bring that
It's
up,
okay.
or we'd all been crying here today.
No, I wasn't ready for it either.
No,
It just happens
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, and so because I'm not going to keep you, I just want to say, what is your? You talk about the whys.
Yeah.
Give us a why. Give the public a why. Why we need to get reengaged. Why we need to lift our own spirits up to get
Yeah.
going in times of toughness.
It is digging into your story. You know, like when I think about my life's trajectory and growing up in, you know, a disenfranchised neighborhood, having a parent with a drug addiction, right? Like there was just so many traumas in my life.
Yes.
And then for this to happen to my child,
Mm-hmm.
right? It was, but what are you going to do about it?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Like, you know, like we can talk about all these traumas and we all have our own story, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what we gonna do? Are we
Right.
just gonna keep sitting there and saying we've been traumatized, or
Yeah.
are we gonna do something? And so my whys have led me until today. My son, yes, he was in the store. He worked at the store. He was a worker at the store. He's the one that notified me that he's been shot. I turned into crazy mama bear, right? Of course. And it was that, let me figure this out. I don't even know what this looks like, right? Like I had no idea what I was about to get myself into.
Right.
But doing the news interviews and linking up with organizations that were doing gun violence prevention work and things like that, and traveling to the White House, meeting with the president and the vice president of the United States several times.
Right.
You know, like talking about not just gun violence, but we're talking about housing and jobs and education and access to grocery stores. And, you know, when that grocery store was shut down for those months after 5/14, that was the only grocery store in that neighborhood. Right. So you have to think about how a neighborhood is being traumatized around food now. Right. Like, so those whys lead to today. And so, you know, my call to action to people really is to, you know, dig into your life. And this is not to say that everybody has had a trauma, you know, relates to mine. But you know the issues because you're on the ground and you're there. You know what's happening in your neighborhoods and you watch the news. Jump into somebody else's why. Right? Like jump in there. Like if you don't have a personal why,
that is so good.
Jump on somebody else's why.
Somebody else's why. Ooh, girl, you said a thing.
You don't need to have experienced trauma to change
the world or the world.
Yeah. Or the world. You don't.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like
you
that.
can jump into my why. I got a whole bunch of things for you to do. Like, come to Buffalo. Okay.
She said,
I will find a place for you.
I know that's right.
In my whys, right? And so I think that is, for me, is the call to action to other people. Find an issue that, you know, speaks to your heart and speaks to your soul, and jump on that why. It doesn't matter whose it is. Jump on it and go help. Ain't nobody gonna tell you no.
That is true. That is true. They aren't gonna tell you no.
They're not gonna tell you no. They're gonna say, "What time you coming?
And can you stay forever? Because I promise,
can you please never leave?
Never leave. Because at one time, y'all, you would get sucked in. They'd be like that volunteer list. You'd be like, oh my gosh, they're calling me again.
They're calling me again. Yes.
Yes, they
and
are.
I will be the one to call you, and I'm gonna call you personally. I'm a councilwoman, but I make personal calls. Okay, it ain't just my staff. I'm gonna call you.
That's what you should do. Thank you so very much for being here with us. And listen, be like this sister, right? Like literally. Get involved, jump in. And I think the work doesn't end. It doesn't end.
It's going to be forever.
It's going to be, listen, I was going to say there was homelessness during the time of Jesus. There was trifling during the time of Jesus.
It ain't going nowhere.
It ain't going nowhere.
So there's more than enough work for all of us to do. So jump in there, girl. Jump on somebody why, okay?
I like that. That should be on a t-shirt.
It should. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Netroots Nation 2025. Thank you. Thank you, Councilman. Make it plain.